Hello, Positively Presto people. We are honoured today to be joined by the most awesome Mr. Michael Emmerson. Say hey, Mike.
Hello, how are you all doing?
Good to see you, Mike. Good to see you. Now, for those who don't know, not only are you actually an esteemed teacher at Presto Music School and actually one of my students from about 436 years ago.
I was.
Yeah.
You're making me feel old now.
Mercifully, I haven't changed one bit.
You haven't actually. The hair's got a bit short.
A bit. Do you remember those days, long hair plan? Mike, if you would you please tell everybody the awesome results that you've had quite recently in your music production life?
Yeah, so I'm mainly doing cinematic music now. So I work for a bunch of publishers across the world, from London and BMG in London, Audio Machine in LA, who are like a big trailer label, and a few others as well. And my music's recently been finished. Yes, I finished it.
That's good.
It's recently been featured on a bunch of films. So like Star Wars, the recent one, Rise of Skywalker, Jurassic World, just loads of different trailers. And a few weeks ago, I actually heard that one of my tracks had got used on a BBC ident. Apparently, it runs through the night. So if you're up from the hours of 12 till 6 a.m., go to BBC Two and you might hear it. I haven't managed it yet.
Well, you've got some sleeping to do at that time, of course, because they obviously are busy days. Mike, I'm sure you can begin to imagine how proud we are as, first of all, as a music school, that you have achieved such awesome results. But the fact that you've then, because obviously, I mean, we're here in the Presto Music Production Studio here, but the fact that you have now gone into music production yourself and attained such awesome results is just fantastic. Michael, can you tell us, please, if you would, when you think back to your lessons with ourselves, how did aural training help your composing now?
There was a lot of things we did when I was a kid. So I was a wee lad. I think I started when I was 5, I think.
You were really young, man.
Yeah. So, I mean, the really early stuff, I probably won't remember half of it, but I think the earliest thing I remember when I was younger was like as simple as things as like major and minor chords, how to hear them by ear, working out melodies by ear as well. So like how to listen to your favorite songs.
Yeah.
And I had plenty growing up. So yeah, like I was very inspired by your lessons and all the ear training that we did. I used to, I probably should have practiced more what I was supposed to, but I was, a lot of the time I was using that ear training and working out my favorite film scores, my favorite songs. And that inspired me to compose music eventually, because that's what made me get into what I'm into now.
Mike, your story is so similar to mine. I always felt as though I was somehow cheating when I was, we're always still learning. I still refer to myself as a music student today. I mean, granted, I know where D minor is, and I even play G7 now and everything, yeah. So we're always learning. But when I was having formal lessons in the way that we think of it for my piano lessons and so on, I guess I always felt as though I suffered from imposter syndrome, whereby I would think that other students were better than me because maybe they were just, they were doing exactly as the teacher said and just reading the music and nothing else, whereas I'm quite good at working things out by ear. But of course, that is one of the learning styles, and all we were doing there was we were supporting you in one of your strengths. It was your path of least resistance. It was the low-hanging fruit for you. So we accelerated your learning in that manner. And then we would fit in the other learning styles around it. So we would help you to read better as a result of the fact that your playing and your aural skills were so much better. But I know you do the exact same thing with your students anyway. So it's lovely to see it come full circle. Now we're all dead old.
It's quite it's quite funny actually, because I sort of see myself in my students a lot. because you can spot the ones who have, you know, got the ear, and then the ones who just like to read the music, and trying to teach them how to do both. And then, you know, a lot of them have now got better at reading music when they had an ear originally, and vice versa, and the other way around as well. So
yeah, and it's not cheating. It's absolutely not. It's not cheating. It's like we've said so many times. You know, music looks like it sounds like it feels like it looks. If you can see a scale going up, you will hear the pitch going up, and if you play it on the piano, it's going up. And of course, as you feel it go up, then you would. The whole thing fits together so beautifully. So, you know, you concentrating on your aural, your listening skills, is just one of those factors. How would you say, Mike, that the aural that you were learning then helped the theory, and in turn helped the composition? So what theory aspects do you think were sort of brought about as all these fitted together?
Well, I remember I could work out chords a lot and melodies by ear, and like obviously what you showed me when I was younger. But what really brought it together for me was when the theory I started to get a lot more music theory into my bones, sort of thing. And I do remember a particular lesson actually when you were showing us how to do chord inversions but on the board, and then how to visualize them on the keyboard as well. So I actually still use those now when I'm composing music.
Fantastic. It's fab, isn't it? You think that these things are super simple at the time, and you know, because it's so simple, it can't possibly have such a big impact. Tell us about how that might help your composition, if you would. Okay.
So when I compose music, when I look at the keyboard, I see all the chord shapes everywhere. So like, because I've practiced all my inversions when I was younger, and they're definitely in my compositional DNA now. So yeah, when I compose music, I actually use inversions to create melodies, because I know that the chords will fit with the melodies if you keep the melody at the top of the chord. So I've used that to create tracks for bands, tracks for full film orchestras, and also still use it all the time.
Cool. And indeed for arranging as well, the string parts, just how, for example, I say strings, but of course any part of the orchestra, you fit it all together. In fact, you've actually had, haven't you had some European orchestras perform your music?
Yeah, Budapest Symphony Orchestra that was one of my dreams, to write for strings, not just on a keyboard with all the synths and stuff, but proper live strings. And all the voicing tips we did when I was younger really helped me with that. Yeah, definitely.
Isn't that fab to go literally from the board in the classroom to the keyboard, and then
to the orchestra,
to the real deal. Yeah, and it all links. It's all part of it. Fantastic. Mike, if there was one tip that you could give music students around the world to get to the position where you are now, writing music for Star Wars and Jurassic Park, how awesome is that? What would it be, my friend?
I would say just try and develop your ear training, and always try and play songs that you enjoy playing. You're definitely more likely to practice them. And try and always go through your core content. So, you know, obviously the Presto course has got 3 books. Make sure you're practicing that every week, and then interspersing that with, you know, your favourite pop songs, or in my case it was film scores and rock tunes and things like that. But yeah, anything like that would be useful.
Absolutely. Play what you enjoy, eh?
Uh-huh.
Very good. Very good. Mike, could you give us an indication of how we can listen to your music?
Yeah, you can go to michaelemersonmusic.com. Emerson with 2 M's. Well, that's actually my middle name.
We'll put the link in the description below, so that people can find you there. And of course, you are teaching remotely now around the world as well through Presto. So of course, if anybody wants to have lessons from you, then again, we'll put
you come right here, and we'll got this new keyboard, Dave. Have you seen it?
What have you got there, Mike? What are you showing us? Hey, check it out.
It's a Lumi keyboard. It lights up.
Awesome. So that's
How
fantastic.
about you, Dave?
How about me? What?
Have you got any tips for budding composers or keyboard players? or musicians around the world?
Yeah, oh, God, where do you begin? I would honestly, though, I would think about what you were saying. I absolutely would say that yes, of course, play stuff that you like, but the listening side, the aural side, to be able to listen to your favorite music and then pick out the tune of that, and then in turn pick out the chords in the background. I mean, obviously, the set ways that you do that, and of course, we train that as part of our courses. But anybody can start that journey, and in turn, if that's the very first step, then by going through a step by step process, I mean, granted, that's what we do at Presto, but the point that I'm making is that as you go through a step by step process, you are saving yourself time, energy, and money. In fact, SYSTEM, you've got a system. Save yourself time, energy, and money to get to the point where you get your goals quicker. How do you start that? I'm with you, Mike. Yeah, your favorite tunes, but for me, it would be from an aural perspective, trying to work it out. But of course, that's if you're an aural learner. Mike, I'm sure you've got many visual learners or kinesthetic learners.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I remember I was very I'd watch what you're playing, and then and I'd go back and you go, read the music, Mike. Read it.
You're not wrong. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I have got a lot of kids who I see myself in. So I've played something to the class. I'll go back and it's like, have you worked that out? Oh, Jimmy, yes. But then other ones I've got who, they're excellent at sight reading. I've put a tune in front of them, grade 7, grade 8. They can read it pretty quick now. So
yeah.
All depends on your learning style, I guess.
Absolutely, we're all different, and of course, if we both support people's natural learning styles and at the same time sort of plug in the other styles to support that, not to contradict it, not to say, right, well, you're a visual learner, so we're now going to get you to do a load of aural. That's not the point. I guess it's just about enhancing what they can do naturally and helping them to become a more rounded musician. So tell us, Mike, how about if somebody wanted to get to where you are? If somebody was to be a professional music producer, composer, such as yourself, what is the key tip you would give them? Wow.
I think you definitely need a coach, someone who's been there and done it, someone who can point you in the right direction, someone who can understand you as a music student, and can point you in the right direction of the type of career path you want to go. Because, for example, my interest was always in composition when I was younger. So I think he definitely helped me down that path by teaching me all the things I needed to know for that. And I see that in my students as well. So, for example, I've got a couple of students at the minute who are interested in composition. So I've been going through a lot of theory with them, like about the chords and how to borrow chords from parallel minors and all sorts of things. So, definitely a coach to point you in the right direction, to inspire you. And yeah, I'd definitely say that's probably the key thing that I would say.
Excellent. Mike, it's been an absolute pleasure. We cannot wait to hear more of your success stories. Speaking of which, we would be delighted, we'd be honoured if you would come and join us for writing some score stuff for our up-and-coming projects as well. It's always good to have you involved in all that, you know that.
Yeah, sure.
Mike, it's a pleasure as always. Great to see you, and we shall see you in the future. Cheers, Mike.
Okay, see you soon.